start with little kirtan.
Yes, Prabhuji.
So, Nama Vishnupadaya Krishna Prestaya
Yes, Prabhuji.
Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Devi Gauravani Prachari Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Prabhuji, this is visible. Murali Prabhu, this is visible and I am audible.
Oops.
Yes.
Sorry, I was on mute, Prabhu. You are visible and audible. I told it 3 times.
Yes, Prabhuji. So chapter 14, Gunatraya Vibhaga Yoga, 3 modes of material nature. Shri Bhagavan Vacha Param Bhuyah Pravakshyami Gnananam Gnanamuttamam Yajnatva Munayah Sarve Param Siddhim Ito Gataha. The blessed Lord said, again I shall declare to you this supreme wisdom, the best of all knowledge, knowing which all the sages have attained to supreme perfection. So, as the Gita is progressing, Krishna is giving more and more understanding our helpless situation in this world. So we are caught up, bound up tightly. So as if somebody has thrown us in the middle of some vast ocean with no way out to come. So like that, we are all actually in this material ocean, and the material modes are haunting us, like ghost haunted. We are all haunted by this different guna, infections, different infections of material nature, sattva guna, rajo guna, tamo guna. So the Lord is now explaining our position so that we can understand how helpless we are, how badly we are conditioned. We are conditioned. We are conditioned to act in a particular way, to think in a particular way. So by the modes, they are like infection. Somebody will be infected by uh, some malaria, suppose, or anything else, some cold infection. So we will start sneezing, we start coughing, we start having headache. It's not the natural condition, but it happens because the infection is there, the bacteria, the virus is there. We have all those symptoms. Similarly, each one of us, though we are originally pure spirit soul, we are part and parcel of Krishna. Krishna is supremely pure. We are also supposed to be pure. But having forgotten the connection with Krishna, having been disconnected with the Lord, so we are become infected with all these material modes. So Krishna in this chapter will explain to us how it works, how the material modes of nature are binding us. By becoming fixed in this knowledge, one can attain to the transcendental nature, which is like my own nature. Thus established, one is not born at the time of creation, nor disturbed at the time of annihilation. So long we are infected with the 3 modes, sattva, rajas, tamas. So we continue our material existence, one body after another. But the moment we become above these 3 modes, so then we achieve our original status, Shuddha Sattva or Vishuddha Sattva. So immediately the Lord says, one attains a similar body like the Lord, similar nature. Krishna's body is transcendental, Satchidananda Swarupa, Satchidananda Vigraha. So we also regain our original spiritual nature, and then we don't have to come back into this world, because this world is going through creation, maintenance, and annihilation. Bhutva, bhutva, praliyat. So we don't have to come back here. We reach the spiritual world. Mahmayonir mahadbrahma tasmin garbham dadamyam sambhava sarvabhutanam tado bhavati bharata. The total material substance called Brahman is a source of birth, and it is that Brahman that I impregnate, making possible the births of all beings, O son of Bharata. And after that, a very important verse. Sarvayonishu kaunteya murtaya sambhavantiya asam brahma mahadyonir aham bija pradah pita. So Krishna is declaring here in this part of the Bhagavad Gita. Krishna has declared before also, Pita asya jagato mata tata pitamaha. Krishna has said previously also. But here again, Krishna is telling that he is the Pita, he is the father. Just like a father gives the seed, father gives by which the mother begets the child. Similarly, to this material nature, it is said Mahavishnu, by his glance, he impregnates the material nature, the Mahatattva, the material energy, with all the jivas, living entities, and then the further creation further starts. So it is by the seed giving process of Mahavishnu by which we are further the material energy gives our material body to us. So Krishna is telling, as many forms are there in this material world. Sarva yonishu kaunteya, all the living entities. So we have the aquatics, we have insects, we have reptiles, we have birds, we have animals, we have 84 lakh species of life. So Krishna is claiming, I am the father for everyone. Asam Brahma Mahadyoni. So I am the source of birth. They are made possible by birth in this material nature, and I am the seed giving father. So Krishna is clearly declaring. So actually, even the Vedic knowledge, it is spoken to Brahma. Brahma is born as the son of Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, another form of the Lord within the universe. So he takes birth as his son. Atma Yoni, Atma Bhu, Brahma is called different ways. Not ordinary material father and mother. Brahma takes birth. It takes birth directly from the navel of Mahavishnu, navel of Garbhodaka Vishnu. Not like any ordinary child, like we take birth, we need father, we need mother. Brahma, not like that. Directly. Lakshmi Devi is there, but directly is born as a son of Brahma, as a son of Narayana. Yes, so many living entities. The lowermost, depending on the consciousness, is aquatics. Then almost similar is the bird, plants, then the insects, reptiles, birds, animals, and finally the human beings. These are the living entities we are evolving. We say Darwin's theory, evolution. So it is not that kind of evolution wherein we change our physical form, or if one physical form becomes another physical form, but rather we get one physical form, we get one kind of a body, we experience certain desires, happiness, distress in that body. Then again, we are promoted to a better life form with better consciousness, with better symptoms of life, better perception, better thinking. So that's how the highest developed consciousness is a human group of species, not only the humans, but Gandharvas, Siddhas, Charanas, Dhanavas, Devatas, they also fall under the human species. The most intelligent, most conscious, most highest grade of consciousness. So we are given these forms based on our desires, based on our karma, and one lower form to higher form. We are evolving, we are changing our bodies. This is how the Vedic, maybe it is said, Srila Prabhupada says, Darwin got some idea of this from our Vedic scriptures, and he, without proper understanding, some postulation, some theory that the bodies are changing. So evolution of one cell to multi-cell, multi-cell to so many tissues, organs, organ systems, some way. So there is no proof. We don't find any monkey becoming a human being anytime. We don't see a monkey giving birth to a human being, but we are made to believe such theory. Yes, that humans were derived from monkeys, and monkeys are coming. No, it is not like that. In fact, it's the other way around, because Brahma is the first living creature in every universe who comes from the Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, and being the son of Vishnu, Brahma is most intelligent, and he is the one who creates all these forms simultaneously. It is not that this form is created now and then it evolves into another form. No, everything is created simultaneously, and depending on the karma, on the desires for every entity, everybody is placed in a particular body. Just like somebody goes to a showroom, some motor automobile showroom. So there are so many varieties, so many models of cars. So depending on his capacity, depending on his desire, he purchases something. Somebody purchases Maruti, suppose 800. Somebody purchases 1000. Somebody purchases some other. So many things are there. So the company manufactures everything. Everything is available. Similarly, Brahma creates all the bodies, and depending upon the karma we are carrying during the previous creation, so we are getting the next body. In fact, Brahma creates all the living entities. It is called devolution, from the higher to lower. From the most intelligent person, the less intelligent persons are created. Not that intelligence evolves like that. No, we don't find such a kind of a thing. So many times it explained, just like suppose we have a building, fine building. We say, suppose, no, this building just came about by chance, by some explosion. There were some bricks, there was some gravel, there was sand, all lying around here. And then suddenly one huge storm came, some thunderstorm, which came at some 200 kilometers per second or whatever hour. Then it blew away, mixed up everything. And then we have this wonderful building coming. This cannot happen. So such kind of a imaginative theories we have regarding creation, regarding the bodies. No. So everything is finally happening by the will of the Lord, by the intelligence of his superior being. Brahma, basically Brahma does that on behalf of the Lord, but he's a chief engineer, supermost living entity within this universe. Brahma creates all these things. Krishna supplies him the materials, gives him the intelligence, and Brahma does the job. So it is not by accident, by chance, by some chemical combination, by some mutation, whatever the big words we have ways. No, it is all by the arrangement of the Lord. It is all by the complete control of the Lord. These things are happening. So now coming back to the main subject matter of this chapter, the three modes. So Krishna says how this works. Sattvam rajastama iti guna prakriti prabha sambhava nibadnanti mahabhaho dehe dehinam avyayam. Material nature consists of the three modes: goodness, passion, and ignorance. When the living entity comes in contact with nature, it becomes conditioned by these modes. Krishna bolia jeev bhogavancha kare nikatastha maya thare jhapatiya dhare. So it is said. So immediately we turn away from Krishna. So immediately there is this police force, the Maya, the Durga energy. She's there. She catches us immediately. Just like a common citizen, he is subordinate to the state. Fine. Little inattention, little breaking of the law, the police force, the criminal laws are there. Similarly, every one of us, the living entity, we are originally part and parcel of the Krishna, of the Lord. But little independent desire, we are caught. That's how these three modes they catch us. And depending on our state, our position, our level of infection we are accustomed to, we have different activities, different symptoms. So this is regarding sattva-guna. Tatra sattvam nirmalatvat prakashikam anamayam sukha-sangena bhadnati gnana-sangena chanaka. O sinless one, the mode of goodness, being purer than the others, is illuminating, and it frees one from all sinful reactions. Those situated in that mode develop knowledge, but they become conditioned by the concept of happiness. So generally, the person in mode of goodness knows what is to be done, what is not to be done, what is good, what is bad. Oh, he's in control of his mind, he's control of his senses. So that way, he's in this goodness mode. So that's what sattva-guna. A simple and small video on this. We just will see this.
Let's go for a stroll in the countryside. Look. I brought us a healthy picnic lunch. The air is clean here, so peaceful. Here we can get away from the agitating elements of the city.
Yes, sattva-guna. Brief about sattva-guna. Then rajoguna. Rajo ragatmakam vidhi Krishna sangasamudbhavam tan nibadhnati kaunteya karma sangena dehinam. So the mode of passion is born of unlimited desires and longings. O son of Kunti, and because of this, one is bound to material fruitive activities. So rajoguna basically means a lot of material desires. Oh, I want this, I want to achieve that, I want to be the number one. So some of the material world, this is how it is said to be advanced. Some of civilization, somebody can possess a lot of material things. He's supposed to be a successful person. So the material society, material education today, everything is pushing us towards this so-called material things. So we are possess more and more material objects. So they think it is a success of life. So ours a temporary life. So what is this possessing? This temporary, the big buildings, the big cars, okay, what we need? We need to live in this world. We need some house, definitely. We need some vehicle, definitely, to go around. We need, but not that we got lost into this and forget the prime business of our human life. But the mode of passion is like that, where a person is simply endeavoring hard for some temporary flimsy things. So that's how he passes on his life. So a brief introduction on that.
What are you doing, man? Out here working on your piano? Honey Sunday! I bet you forgot about Sunday, didn't you? You're supposed to be taking your Vegas this weekend. You know, lose your money Vegas. Don't be rich. You'll reach the just one hitch. You just got stuck. Just can't get it.
Yes, Rajoguna. Rajoguna is there. A lot of material desires. So much endeavor for that. Yes. And Tamoguna, of course, at least Rajoguna person is so working for that, is active in that sense. Satoguna person is active, but is discriminative, is using his intelligence, then is active. Rajoguna is just after material desires, whatever he wants to achieve it. So he becomes envious of other people who possess it. That all comes in Rajoguna. Satoguna person is free from all that. He knows these negative emotions will harm me finally. So he is free from that. Satoguna. Rajoguna, because he is passionate, he has this also other elements, jealousy, enviousness, all that, anger and all that. But Tamoguna is where the material desires are too much, the person becomes helpless, too much, he is not able to do anything. The mode of ignorance causes the delusion of all living entities. The result of this mode is madness, indolence, and sleep, which bind the conditioned soul. So looks sometimes similar, Satoguna and Tamoguna. But Tamoguna person is totally taken over by the senses. He has no power, no control over himself. So a small video on that.
I think you just need to chill with me. I got 6 packs in the fridge, play some video games, watch some TV, shut the curtains and just shut out the world. Sounds good, huh?
Yes, we all understand Tamoguna is bad. Anybody, but Rajoguna also too much material endeavor. That also is finally not good. It's a temporary gain only. So as the chapters progresses, 15, 16, 17, 18, the Lord very much analyzes this all 3 modes, how this work. So now the just a brief of that, the outline of that Krishna is giving in this chapter. Sattvam Sukhe Sanjayati. The mode of goodness conditions one to happiness. Raja Karmani Bharata. Passion conditions into fruits of action. So mostly the endeavor, the person is working hard to get something, is mostly just engaged in that way. So Sattoguna, Gnanam Avrityatu Tamaha. So representative mode, representative person is, it is a teacher who shares his knowledge, a philosopher. It is supposed to be a mode of goodness. So with the development of knowledge, he is more contented. He is able to see things in reality. So that is a mode of goodness. Rajoguna is where he is just working to get some so-called name, fame, honor in this world. So that kind of a activity. Raja Karmani Bharata. Mostly he has to work for it, to maintain the status quo, he has to endeavor intensely for that. Granam Avrityatu Kritamaha Pramade Sanjayatuta. And ignorance is madness, just like we saw somebody addicted to any intoxication, addicted to drugs. So it is just madness mode of material nature. Tamoguna. Tamoguna is said to be a peculiar mode, very peculiar to a living entity. How a living entity gets stuck in that. Yes. Then it is a combination of these things that influence our life, that we are going on in this life, some percentage. So Krishna says that sometimes the mode of goodness is prominent. So we are in control of our mind, we are controlling of our senses. We know what is to be done, what is not to be done. It is good for me, it is bad for me. It is liberating, it is binding, it is pious, it is sinful. So we are aware of that. So that is a goodness. Rajoguna is where we are confused, we are not sure. And Tamoguna is where we feel something which is bad is good and something which is good is bad. So that is a completely opposite side of ignorance. Tamoguna, mode of ignorance. Okay, the Lord is saying always the mind is subjected to this 3 modes: Sattva, Rajas, Tamas, as if somebody is pulling 3 sides. Sometimes Sattoguna prominent, sometimes Rajoguna prominent, sometimes Tamoguna prominent. Just like in the morning hours, it is always very nice to practice spiritual life. It is, the time is itself very nice, the mode of goodness. Then as the day progresses, oh, this is to be done, that is to be done. I've got this duty, I've got that duty. This is a target. That is so many things keeps coming. That is we fall into that kind of a Rajoguna. We have to work. And then as the day progresses, we become, our energy comes down, and the mind senses also become numb more. And people we see the more in the activities of the night, they go into drinking, all sorts of sinful activities. So the mode of ignorance is more, even you can see like. But anyway, this combination is going on in every one of our life. So by practice, we can cultivate Sattva. We may have Rajoguna, we have Tamoguna, definitely. Particularly this time Kali Yuga. So we have a lot of influence of Rajoguna, Tamoguna, a lot of surroundings, a lot of good association we have around us. But by practice, by constant practice, we can come to Sattva. Otherwise, if we continue Rajoguna, so then we become more and more passionate. There is no happiness. There is no satisfaction. It's just some simply endeavor, mental endeavor. And the Tamoguna is completely ignorance, complete ignorance. Right from beginning, there is no happiness. It is simply suffering. But a person in that mode feels it is great. Doing some sinful activities, involved in sinful intoxication, he feels that is very nice. That is Tamoguna. Sometimes the mode of passion becomes prominent, defeating the mode of goodness. O son of Bharata. And sometimes the mode of goodness defeats passion. And other times the mode of ignorance defeats goodness and passion. In this way, there is always competition for supremacy. So the manifestations of the mode of goodness can be experienced when all the gates of the body are illuminated by knowledge. So all the gates means the eyes, the ears, nose, where we interact with this world. So we can see correctly. We can have proper perception. We can hear perfectly. Every sense is properly acting, properly working, in control, in power control, not that they are pushing us for some sense gratification. That is the mode of goodness. And mode of passion, there is symptoms of great attachment, uncontrollable desire, hankering, greed, intense endeavor. So I want more. I want to possess more and more sense objects. I want to enjoy more. That is how Rajoguna comes. And Tamoguna, madness, illusion, inertia, and darkness. So laziness, a lot of laziness, no energy, no interest, no enthusiasm, no awareness of punya and papa, in sin, any good activity. So pious activity, no understanding, complete ignorance, complete bodily identification, forceful bodily identification. That comes to Rajoguna, and more so in Tamoguna. Sattoguna person understands, yes, I am different from the body. I am been trapped in this body. So like this, some understanding starts. But Rajoguna, Tamoguna is no understanding, complete bodily identification. Tamoguna is complete madness. That's how it is characterized. What is the effect of living in this particular mode? Okay, what will happen? I live in that mode. I continue to be in Rajoguna. I continue to be in Tamoguna. What will happen? So Krishna is telling here, 14th verse to 14 to 17 verses, the Lord says, the outcome of these modes, living in those modes, what will be their destiny? Yada sattve pravruddhe tu pralayam yati dehaprit tatottam vidam lokan amalan pratipadyate. When one dies in the mode of goodness, he attains the pure higher planets. There are higher living entities in higher planets. The Devaloka, Svargaloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, it is there. And those living entities are in mode of pure goodness. So no sinful activities. They're pure, the mind is pure, their senses, their life is pure. That is, we take birth among such entities. And then Rajoguna, Rajasi pralayam gatva karma sangishu jayate tata pralinas tamasi mudayonishu jayate. When one dies in the mode of passion, it takes birth among those engaged in fruitive activities. So passion is where I want the result, I work for the result. So I want to enjoy my senses more and more. So we take birth in such among such living beings. And Tamoguna is, we may go into Muda Yonishu Jaya. Muda Yonishu means we will enter into the animal kingdom. So it is not that once humans, always humans. Some people have that understanding. Some religions that seem to teach like that. No, very clearly in the Gita, Krishna says, Muda Yoni means animal species. So it is how we live, how we cultivate our modes by which our next life will be they are decided. By acting in the mode of goodness, one becomes purified. Works done in the mode of passion result in distress, and actions performed in the mode of ignorance result in foolishness. By pious activities in the mode of goodness, one is purified. Therefore, the sages who are free from all illusion are situated in happiness. Similarly, activities in the mode of passion are simply miserable. Any activity for material happiness is bound to be defeated. For example, if, for example, one wants to have a skyscraper, so much human misery has to be undergone before a big skyscraper can be built. The financier has to take much trouble to earn a mass of wealth, and those who are slaving to construct the building have to render physical toil. The miseries are there. Thus, Bhagavad Gita says that in any activity performed under the spell of the mode of passion, there is definitely great misery. There may be a little so-called mental happiness, have this money or this house, but this is not actual happiness. As far as the mode of ignorance is concerned, the performer is without knowledge, and therefore all his activities result in present misery, and afterwards he will go on toward animal life. Animal life is always miserable. Although under the spell of the illusory energy Maya, the animals do not understand. Yes. It goes on, very nice purport by Srila Prabhupada. Yes. So then the Lord summarizes, from the mode of goodness, real knowledge develops. So as we control the mind, as we control our senses, as we want to get back our spiritual identity, real knowledge develops. The actual realization develops in Sattva-guna, it is said. More knowledge and realization, fixed up understanding, it comes in Sattva-guna. Theoretically, we may understand something in Rajoguna, Tamoguna, but actually concrete knowledge, which is actualized, it is said, it comes in Sattva-guna. It stays on. Rajoguna is when we learn, but we forget. It is such kind of a knowledge. But real knowledge becomes firmed up in the Sattva-guna. From the mode of passion, grief develops. From the mode of ignorance, foolishness, madness, and illusion develop. Yes. The more and more addiction to sinful activities, definitely madness, illusion, foolishness. Urdvam gachanti sattvastha madhye tishtanti rajasaha jaganya guna vrittista ado gachanti tamasaha. Those situated in the mode of goodness gradually go upward to the higher planets. Those in the mode of passion live on the earthly planets, and those in the mode of ignorance go down to the lower planets. So another way Krishna is saying the result of cultivating, result of being situated in different modes. The final result is Sattva-guna will lead us to a better life in this material world. Of course, still we are not liberated. Still we have not entered the spiritual world. So for entering the spiritual world, it is said we have to even become free from the Sattva-guna, which is called Vishuddha Sattva-guna. Because in this world, even the so-called Sattva-guna, there is always risk, danger of infection by the Rajoguna and Tamoguna. So this world is like that. So many times we see. So even a very great personality, he also gets sometimes drawn by the lower modes. So it is possible. It is like infection, very closely following us. So, but a state wherein one completely is free from these modes, that is called Nirguna, the Vishuddha Sattva, Vasudeva Sattva, which is the natural mode of every living entity, natural situation of every living entity, where there is no longer any chance of Rajoguna and Tamoguna, of passion and ignorance taking over. So that is when we can actually enter the spiritual world. Otherwise, here Krishna is saying we may enter the higher planets, Urdhvam. So it is at least we have to live in the Sattva-guna in this human life, so that we may gain promotion to the higher planets. At least base minimum we should get Sattva-guna. Otherwise, we got such a great chance. Labdva sudurlabhamidam bahu sambhavante. After many births, we achieve this human form of life. But at least if we don't cultivate Sattva-guna, there is a danger of going back into lower life forms. So every one of us, it's a prime duty to cultivate Sattva-guna. So Krishna is saying, Urdhvam gachanti sattvastha. Somebody cultivates Sattva-guna, he will achieve higher planets. Madhye tishtanti rajasa. So if he cultivates Rajoguna, he will stay there where he may take birth in this earthly planet only, something like that. Jaganya guna vrittista adogachin tamasa. But Tamoguna will lead us down, will take us down into the lower animal forms. Yes, this is the planetary situations in our Brahmanda. So we are situated in one Brahmanda. The Brahma is created. So there is the form of the Lord called Garbhodakashaya Vishnu, who is entered within this universe, and from his navel takes birth Brahma. And Brahma creates within the stem of this lotus all the planets. So what we see is basically all the planets within this lotus. That itself, it looks so huge, so enormous. But all these planets, the Bhumi is supposed to be situated in the middle. Bur Loka, above us Bhuvar Loka, above that Swarga Loka, above that Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapoloka, Satyaloka. Below us, Atala, Vitala, Sutala, Talatala, Mahatala, Rasa, Atala, Patala. So many planets, so many different kinds of living entities, so many standards of life. So depending upon our desires, depending upon the different modes, so many varieties, so many situations are there. And you can see here also the different coverings of the universe. Each covering is 10 times the diameter of the previous covering. The earth, water, fire, air, ether. So it ties so tightly bound this whole material universe. Yes. When you see that there is nothing beyond these modes of nature in all activities, and that the Supreme Lord is transcendental to all these modes, then you can know my spiritual nature. Yes. Just like here, nice picture about how somebody is being controlled by the threads. So they are fighting, or they're whatever they are doing. By Sattva-guna, Rajo-guna, Tamo-guna. Somebody is being pulling the strings. So like that, the gunas, the ropes of Maya, the material energy, is pulling us. We are not independent. We are completely dependent on these modes. But Krishna is not like that. Krishna is above these modes. So just like a sun is above the clouds, so he's the creator of this Maya, he's the creator of this guna, so he is above. But presently, being conditioned, we are below, we are bound up tightly. When the embodied being is able to transcend these modes, he can become free from birth, death, old age, and their distresses, and can enjoy nectar even in this life. So Krishna is telling, not that we have to wait for another life, we have to wait for many, many lives, so that we can actually achieve real happiness. So Krishna is telling, even in this life, if we can actually transcend these three modes, we can be happy. So the real happiness comes in Sattva-guna. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate. So Bhagavatam very nicely explains the process how we get free. It says, Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantastoya Badrani Vidunoti Sarasata. So hearing about the Lord's different pastimes, Lord's different activities, that itself purifies us, our existence. And then Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridyantastoya Badrani. So many contaminations sitting in our heart, they're all finished, they're all washed off. Then what happens? Tadarajas tamo bhava kamalobhadayashe. This rajoguna tamoguna, what we're talking about, they become cleansed. There's the symptoms of rajoguna tamoguna is rajoguna particularly is kama and loba, desire, material desire, greed. So this is haunting us, each one of us. It says, by constant hearing about the Lord, when our heart becomes purified, naturally we freed from all these things. Rajoguna and tamoguna. Tadarajas tamo bhava kamalobhadayashe. Chetayete ranaviddam stitam sattve prasiddhati. This is like pinching our heart. Somebody is putting a needle and pinching. So these material desires are like that. They're pushing us. So, but then we get free. We come to stitam sattve prasiddhati. At Sattva-guna we feel happiness. Evam prasanna manaso Bhagavad Bhakti Yogataha. Bhagavad Tattva Vijnana Mukta Sangasya Jayate. So like that, we actually feel some scent of happiness, some scent of peacefulness. Prasanna manasaha. Happy. Then it said in that happiness level, we can understand real spiritual life, and then we can Bhagavad Bhakti, by the practice of Bhagavad Bhakti, we further and further make progress. And finally, it said, Kshiyante chasya karmani drishta evatman ishvare. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chhidyate sarva samshaya, kshiyante chase karmani, drishta eva atmanishwar. It said, by this development of Sattva-guna, we actually see things properly, we understand things properly, and then our hridaya granthi, the knots, the false knots, so many material desires, material attachments haunting us, it is all cut off. Vidyate hridaya granthi, chidyante sarva samshaya. All the doubts which we have so many doubts. Oh, whether is it like this, whether is it like that, is this correct or that is correct? Because we are situated in Rajoguna, it is said, it is where like muddy water, we cannot see. So we allow the mud to settle down, then the water becomes clear, then we can see. So similarly, this passion and ignorance are like clouds which do not allow us to see properly. But Sattva-guna is where things are easily perceivable, actually seeable. So it is said, so there, sarva samshaya, all the doubts are finished. There are no doubts. Vidyate sarva samshaya, chidyate sarva samshaya, kshiyante chase karmani. All the karma, the knots of karma, which is we have carried for life after life after life, they're all destroyed. Kshiyante chase karmani, drushta eva atmanishwar. Then one can see himself as a jivatma, and he can see the Lord, the Paramatma. So like that it is said, we progress in path of the bhakti. We give up the lower modes, we come to the Sattva-guna, then we even finally transcend that. So then here Arjuna asks a further question to Krishna about what is the symptoms. He asks the question. Yes, before that there is nice kirtan. Maybe we'll hear this. This is a very intimate disciple of Srila Prabhupada, one sannyasi, Vishnu Jana Maharaj. So it's nice kirtan. Srila Prabhupada used to like it. He used to compare that to Gandharva, singing of the Gandharva. So we'll just hear that kirtan and then we'll carry on with our the last portion of this chapter.
Prabhuji, volume is not audible.
Yes, the volume is low. I know that. Yeah, I'm not able to increase it. Hare Krishna. So this is Srila Prabhupada singing. How audible was it, Prabhuji? I don't know. How audible was it?
Towards the second half, it was much better, Prabhuji.
Much better. Okay. Yes. So Arjuna further inquires, "Oh my dear Lord, by what symptoms is one known who is transcendental to those modes? What is his behavior and how does it transcend the modes of nature?" So Sita Pragna, the Lord already said. So now again Arjuna wants to understand about Sita Pragna, person who has transcended the three modes. So the Lord says, "He who does not hate elimination, attachment and delusion when they are present, nor longs for them when they disappear, who is seated like one unconcerned, being situated beyond these material reactions of the modes of nature, who remains firm knowing that the modes alone are active, who regards alike pleasure and pain, looks on a clod, a stone, and a piece of gold with an equal eye, who is wise and holds praise and blame to be the same, who is unchanged in honor and dishonor, who treats friend and foe alike, who has abandoned all fruitive undertakings. Such a man is said to have transcended the modes of nature." So Sri Narad Muni is a typical example, pure devotee. So he's always, it is said, he's always preaching the message of the Lord. He goes to Devatas, he goes to Dhanavas. So everybody, nobody is his enemy, nobody is his friend. So he goes, he visits the palace of Kamsa, he visits Ravana, he visits Hiranyakashipu. Yes, everywhere he travels. He's there everywhere. And we see how he even so Valmiki, Mrugari, such people, he made them devotees. And also people like Prahlada, Dhruva. So everywhere. So that is a mission. Typical example of a liberated person, Narad Muni. Yes. So then finally, the Lord says, what is the method for us to transcend, for us to achieve this platform, which is our natural platform. So how to get back to the platform? So Krishna says, the direct method. So there may be many methods, slow methods in the devotional, in the Vedic scriptures, the method of Gnana, the method of Yoga, Karma, slowly elevating one from the lower modes, Tamoguna to Rajoguna to Sattoguna, slowly. But Krishna here directly recommends the direct practice of Bhakti Yoga, which is the supermost method. Krishna says, Mam chayo avyabhicharena bhakti yogena sevate sagunan samati pyaitan brahma bhuyaya kalpate. This Brahma Bhuta stage, this understanding is coming to the position that I am spirit soul. I have nothing to do with this material body. I have nothing to do with material life, material activities. So Krishna says, this can immediately happen one by one who engages himself in full devotional service. Avyabhicharena, without any deviation, continuous devotional service. Krishna says one can immediately transcend the three modes. It is very, very difficult, but if we can stick to the lotus feet of Krishna, so the method of devotional service, then the Lord will lift us. Just like somebody is drowning in the water, so somebody from outside, so he has to come and lift him up. So there is the Lord's pure devotee, the Acharya, who can lift us up. Brahmanoi pratishthaham amrutasya abhyasya cha shashvatasya cha dharmasya sukhasya ikantikasya cha. Brahmanoi pratishthaham. So Krishna says here, this Brahman, Brahma Jyoti. So many times some impersonalists want to merge into the Lord. So this Brahma Jyoti, Krishna is saying, I am the basis for that. Brahmanoi pratishthaham. It's a state wherein person understands is one aspect of realization, the Sat aspect, I am eternal, but still complete knowledge is not there, that I am a servant of the Lord, I am part and parcel of the Lord. That understanding is lacking. And further, in that state comes complete happiness, Sachidananda. So otherwise, this Brahma understanding, Brahman platform is where one understands his eternal feature, but still other elements are lacking, the Chit and Ananda. Chit comes when Paramatma realization, yes, the Lord is there, I am his embodiment. And Ananda comes when one actually serves the Lord in bhakti. Then Sachidananda, the complete state of perfection, is attained. Yes. Okay, I think we end this chapter today. The Lord gave an introduction about the three modes of material nature. Further on, 16, 17, 18 chapters, further understanding the Lord gives about the three modes. Oh, every field of our life, every field of our activity is governed by these three modes. So our body, our mind, our all our work is happening by the influence of that, and our thinking or feeling, everything is governed by the three modes. Our action, everything is governed by the three modes. Yes. Hare Krishna. Thank you, everybody. Anybody has any questions? Yes, Prabhuji, we'll take up some questions. Chandramohan Prabhuji, I think I'll unmute.
Yeah, okay. Where do you want to start, Prabhuji? Which